Hello, this is Ariadne Rainbird, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the hawthorn tree, also known as the May tree, and I'll also be saying a prayer to the spirit of the hawthorn and then leading a guided meditation to contact the spirit of the hawthorn tree and to learn from its wisdom. So the hawthorn tree, Latin name Crataegus monogynia, corresponds in the system that I use to the month of May, the lunar month, going from late April to throughout May, sometimes to June. And it corresponds to the Ogham Huath, planetary correspondence Mars, elemental correspondence Fire. And it corresponds to the month of the flower moon, mead moon, horse moon, rose moon, or planting moon. Those are the traditional British farming communities' names for that moon of the year. Hawthorn is also known as the May tree due to its white blossoms appearing in May. Other names for hawthorn include whitethorn, thorn tree, quickthorn, tree of chastity, hedgethorn, and bread and cheese tree, the latter because the edible leaves, flower, and buds and berries are known as bread and cheese, or baracaus in Welsh, although they actually taste nothing like bread and cheese. Although the young leaves, flower buds and young flowers are edible and can be added to salads, the haws can cause upset stomach if eaten raw, but they are good to be used in jellies, wines and ketchups. The hawthorn's light colouring and white flowers give it the name whitethorn, whilst its ability to grow quickly give it the name quickthorn. Hawthorn can produce effective hedges, hence it is also known as hedgethorn. Hawthorn flowers are used in May Day garlands and to decorate the maypole. It was traditionally believed to be unlucky to bring mayflowers into the home, except at May Day, when people would go a-maying in the woods and bring the may blossoms home to decorate their homes and bring blessings. In the Padstow May Day tradition in Cornwall, a song is still sung with the words, "Arise, ye young men, every one, for summer is a-comin' today. Go out to the greenwood and bring your May home in the merry morning of May." The blossoming of the hawthorn is a sign that spring is turning into summer, as the song suggests. Going a-maying can also be a euphemism for coupling and lovemaking in the woods. May is traditionally the month of courtship and love after the cold of the winter has passed. Hawthorns are also associated with fairy folk, and the 13th century Scottish poet Thomas the Rhymer allegedly met the fairy queen by a hawthorn tree and was led by her into the fairy realm. Although only there for a brief time, when he re-emerged, he found that he had actually been away for 7 years. Hawthorn trees are often said to be inhabited by fairies or other spirits, particularly in Irish lore, and because of this it was unlucky to cut or damage a hawthorn tree in any way, as if one did, one would incur the wrath of the spirits who resided within the tree, often with fatal consequences. There was also a belief across the United Kingdom that bringing hawthorn blossoms into the house, other than on May Day morning, would lead to illness and death. The blossom has a heady smell, which can be a mild aphrodisiac, but after being cut has a pungent smell, which is said to smell like death due to the chemical trimethylamine, which is present in hawthorn blossoms, which also forms in decaying bodies. The Latin name for hawthorn, Crataegus, derives from the Greek word kratos, meaning strength, and from the word for sharp, due to the strength of the wood and the sharp thorns. Although many instances of the use of hawthorn in ancient Greece and Rome can be found described online and in books, as well as it being considered to be sacred to certain Greek and Roman gods and goddesses, there is little mention of the hawthorn at all in classical sources. One common association given on various websites and books is that the Greek god of marriage, Hymenaeus, carried a torch made of hawthorn. But the only source that I have found that states the type of wood that Hymenaeus' torch was made of is Seneca's play Medea, which describes Hymenaeus' torch as being made of frayed pine wood. It is likely that most associations found on the internet and in books between ancient Greek and Roman deities are modern and not ancient, unless ancient sources are given. So be careful what you read and believe from the internet sources. Hawthorn trees can grow to a height of around 15 metres and can be dense and bushy, though can also grow as a small single-stemmed tree. The tree has a brown-grey knotted bark and slender twigs covered in thorns. The leaves of the hawthorn are quite distinctive, being deeply lobed and small. The flowers contain both male and female reproductive parts in a single flower and are highly scented and white or occasionally pink with 5 petals. They are small and grow in clusters of blossoms. In the autumn they produce small red fruits known as haws. Hawthorn commonly grows in hedgerows, woodland and scrubland. It is able to grow in most soils, but it flourishes in full sun. Hawthorn supports many species of wildlife, with a number of moth caterpillars living on the leaves. Dormice eat the flowers, which also provide nectar for bees and other insects. Birds and small mammals eat the haws. The thorny thickets of hawthorn make a protective nesting shelter for many birds. The holy thorn tree in Glastonbury, which used to stand on Wiriel Hill, was said to have been brought over by Joseph of Arimathea, who was the uncle of the Virgin Mary, and who brought the Holy Grail to Britain, carrying Christ's blood. He thrust his staff onto the ground on Wiriel Hill, and it sprouted and grew into the holy thorn. The original holy thorn, though, has been replaced over the centuries. Notably, it was destroyed by Cromwell as a superstitious relic, but was later replaced. However, the most recent manifestation of the holy thorn was cut down by the Landover in 2019 because it was believed to have become dangerous. The Glastonbury thorn attracted both Christian and pagan pilgrims, with pagans honouring it as a symbol of the goddess and of fertility. The Glastonbury thorn was also seen as miraculous, as it flowered at Christmas, producing flowers throughout most of the winter, not just in May. This is because the Glastonbury thorn is of the biflora variety, which reblooms in the midwinter. A number of cuttings were taken from the Glastonbury thorn and planted in other parts of Glastonbury and in other towns. A sprig of the hawthorn from outside St John's Church in Glastonbury used to be sent to Queen Elizabeth II every year, as she was said to decorate her breakfast table with it on Christmas morning. Hawthorn has associations with sanctity and sanctuary. It provides protection and boundaries. Yet it is also associated with revelries and bawdiness. I'm now going to read a prayer which I've written to the Hawthorn spirit, and then I'll follow this immediately with a guided meditation. So you may like to get yourself ready and comfortable for the meditation. Hawthorn spirit. O spirit of the hawthorn growing wild, with pure white blossoms undefiled. Fairy tree, chaste and fair, your soft perfume fills the air. In your shelter give us peace and grace, a sacred refuge, a hallowed space. Protected by your thorny bowers, blessed by the beauty of your flowers. Grant us patience in all we do. May your thorns protect us, fierce and true. Help us keep our boundaries firm, to maintain our focus and to learn. Help us to keep from wild excess, with the purity you express. In springtime's blush your blossoms white turn fields into a dreamlike sight, evoking other worlds and scenes, the fairy realm beyond our dreams. O May tree, hailing summer's joy, bringing delights for all to enjoy. Tree of love and fertility, wild delight and modesty, virginal and sexual all in one, welcoming in the summer sun, with berries red in autumn's glow, a gift of nature's quiet show. O hawthorn tree, so fair and true, with timeless grace we honour you. From bloom to berry, leaf and thorn, your boughs the Beltane bowls adorn, and we dance with joy and mirth, connecting with our Mother Earth. So now for the meditation. If you're able to and the weather permits, find a friendly hawthorn tree to approach and sit beneath its branches. If you're not able to go outside and sit with an actual tree, then do so in your mind's eye. You may wish to take a few drops of hawthorn flower essence, or hold a hawthorn wand or piece of hawthorn wood. Sit in a comfortable position in a quiet place where you will not be disturbed, and visualise that a white mist is surrounding you and engulfing you, completely obscuring your vision. See the mist thick around you as if you're in a cloud. Rest in that white mist and allow it to transport you as if you're floating in a cloud. And then find yourself gently landing on the ground, and the mist begins to clear. As the mist clears, you find yourself in a summer meadow with a grassy slope in front of you, gently rising to form a hill. On the top of the hill is an ancient hawthorn tree, its trunk twisted through weathering, its branches adorned with delicate white blossoms. The air is fresh, filled with the subtle, sweet fragrance of the hawthorn, a symbol of purity and purification. Approach the tree and feel the gentle energy of the hawthorn tree envelop you, purifying your mind and spirit. Its blossoms, pure and white, symbolise a cleansing of the soul, washing away any negativity or burdens you may carry. Allow this sense of purity to fill you, creating space for positive energies to flow. The hawthorn tree is a guardian, offering protection with its sturdy branches and sharp thorns. Imagine these thorns forming a protective barrier around you, shielding you from harm and negative influences. Feel safe and secure within this sacred space, knowing that the hawthorn is your steadfast protector. Reflect on the qualities of chastity and modesty that the hawthorn embodies. Its delicate flowers and humble presence remind you of the beauty found in simplicity and restraint. Embrace these virtues, finding strength in your own modesty and grace. As you continue to meditate, consider the hawthorn's association with fertility and wild delight. There is a time for modesty and chastity, and there is also a time for wild abandon. And the hawthorn helps us to find the balance between them. Picture its blossoms turning into vibrant red berries, symbols of abundance and life's potential. Feel the joy and excitement of new beginnings and growth, and let this energy invigorate your spirit. The hawthorn tree also teaches patience. Its slow and steady growth through the seasons reminds us to be patient with ourselves and the journey that we are on. Trust in the process of your own growth, knowing that each stage is necessary and beautiful in its own right. Spend a few moments in the presence of the hawthorn, absorbing its lessons of purity, protection, chastity, fertility, wild delight, modesty, and patience. And when you're ready, thank the hawthorn spirit and see the mist once more form around you. Let it thicken around you so you're once more totally surrounded as if in a cloud. And let it carry you again, floating off gently. It takes you back to the place you started, carrying the spirit of the hawthorn with you into your day. And when you're back where you started, the mist clears. Spend some time reflecting on the experience. Then write it up in your magical diary or journal. More information on the hawthorn and all the other trees of the months of the year can be found in my book, A Year of Sacred Trees, along with meditations and prayers for each of the trees. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.